Welcome to Radio Free Endor episode 112. My name is Jamie, and with me as ever is my son, Chris. How you doing, Chris?
Really well, thank you. It's been some time.
It has. It's been since July, to be fair, when we did our last roundup. I think our last episode was the roundup of the Bad Batch with Raw Farm Boy, who I know is already in the comments. He's already here. Let's have a look. Yep, changed my handle, but it's still me. Yes, we know. Yeah, we know. Do you know? I've just tried to uh put this live on X, and it's not been a problem for well, it's never been a problem, but now he says I've got to get a premiere. I've got to subscribe to a premiere thing for X to go live on that. That's pretty weird, isn't it?
A premium feature.
Yeah.
X premium.
Yeah. Well, never mind then. So that's a no then for that. Yeah, it's definitely been a long time. I've been super busy. You've been super busy. We've just not had any free time to do any podcasting, and I've really missed it. So I'm quite glad that we're back on to do an episode because so much has happened. The Acolyte has happened, and some other stuff has happened as well. Oh yeah, so Raw Farm Boy. Well, it says Imperial activity now. Yeah, live on Twitter just got more complicated. It's done. Yeah, true. And then, yes, glad to see you both. Yeah, absolutely. It's great to be back on. It's great to be back. That's for sure. A proper mystic, Chris. Proper mystic talking to you, and of course talking about the wars. It's just been so busy. It's been crazy. I've been doing YouTube videos and everything for the Milwaukee tool side of my job. It's been super crazy. What have you been up to?
Well, what have I not been up to? Everything in a ways, as always, and a lot of work, a lot of family things, a lot of having some time off, and yeah, a lot overall.
It is. It's been crazy. There's so much news, and basically the whole episode will be about news. To be fair, so should we head over to the news, Chris?
Yeah, of course.
Cool. Let's head over to the news section. Right now, unfortunately, we're gonna start with some very sad news that James Earl Jones recently passed away. I think he was he 80? Was he 95?
93.
93, yeah, it was 93. And I've got a little video here on IMDb, which I do want to play. Let's have a good look at this. No, that's not it. Let's just stop that one, and let's add this one. Share screen. Here we are. Here we are. So this is a video on IMDb. Let's show it.
I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. I'm gonna fight! I got my turn to be the champion of the world! I'm taking my turn. This field, this game, it's a part of our past, Ray. I used to crowd the plate so that Strike Zone almost disappeared.
The king's time as ruler rises and falls like the sun. One day, Simba, the sun will set on my time here and will rise with you as the new king.
Your only job was to look after the king. How could you let him come to such a pass? You have a son.
You have come to me, my son. I am the wellspring from which you flow.
He gave you word to the people of the United States.
Give yourself to the dark side. We are the United States government. We don't do that sort of thing. That torpedo did not self-destruct. You heard it hit the hull, and I was never here. I go ton for ton, loading coal with any man here. When I do, I expect the same dollar for the same work. No majority ever gave a minority a fair share of the loot without force.
You must have learned a great deal more than you bargained for through this experience, Mr. Watson.
It was back to the income and the outcome and the deducting, and you tried me to drink.
You don't know nothing, baby.
Major Kong, is it possible this is some kind of loyalty test?
Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father. I am your father.
Oof. Some powerful words there.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Some powerful films there, and his voice is so iconic in so many things. You know, it's for the younger generation. He was Mufasa for the Lion King in the remake. Is it kind of a remake? The live action animated, because it's like kind of still animated, isn't it? And do you know when I first suddenly realized that James Earl Jones was the voice of Darth Vader, seeing his name up no other times, was when I went to see Coming to America, and there's a scene where it goes up to the desk in America to find where Eddie Murphy, his son, is Akeem. And she says, she goes, "Oh yeah, he's in room 452. Would you like me to tell him the ear?" And he goes, "No, I will deal with him myself." And I was like, "Hey, oh, what? Hold on, that's the voice of Vader." Yeah, and that was when I clicked. You know what I mean? But it's such a powerful, so sad as well. So sad about him. But he lived a very, very long life. And well, we're always going to hear him. He's always going to have that voice in Star Wars history now. But no doubt, Chris, you're going to tell me something about him signing his voice away or something.
Of course, that was already done. Happened in Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan used a synthesized version of his voice.
Really? He didn't do it
Yeah.
himself?
No.
Oh my God.
I'm pretty sure that was well known.
Yeah, I know. I could have sworn. I honestly thought that he recorded those lines, because he went dead then. You know what I mean?
Nope. I'm pretty sure it was a synthesized version.
Huh.
Kind of great if you think about it. Very sad for it, but just type into a keyboard and get the voice of Darth Vader.
Yeah, there is that, isn't there? There is that. It says, because I'm just bringing up his IMDb, but he says voice Darth Vader, that he did the voice of Darth Vader. So would that mean, would it say him if it was digital?
Yeah, you'd still get credits because it's his voice. But here it says Jones is 91. Hence doesn't exactly have the voice he did when he was playing Vader in the original trilogy. He reported he will no longer be the voice of the well-known Rogue. Instead of having Jones record dialogue as Darth Vader, the Obi-Wan Kenobi producers ultimately had artificial intelligence recreate Jones's voice as Darth Vader in the series.
Yeah. So I take it they've got free run now. They're going to use his voice now, which is a good thing, because at least Vader's always got his voice. But elsewhere in the news, we'll probably get into it. There's with Peter Cushing about actors that have passed away are never really dead now. They can digitally bring them back. So would this fall into the same category? Sooner or later, someone going to go, Disney, going to sue you. Using his voice, should have asked permission. What do you reckon?
I don't know, to be fair. The reason why is it's a complicated subject, and likeness is something owned by the studio, not the actors. And it's one of these things where, yes, to me, like, you could put James Earl Jones' voice on Darth Vader forever, but at some point in the future, controversial opinion, Darth Vader needs to be retired himself. Icons can only be icons for a certain amount of time.
That's very true. That's very true. Just go through his trivia on his page. It says he used to use Darth Vader as his handle on his CB radio, but stopped when it was frightening people. According to Jones, when George Lucas was trying to cast the voice of Darth Vader, he immediately, his immediate idea was to cast Orson Welles. However, he felt that Welles was well too known for the role. So instead, he looked for an actor with a deep voice like Orson Welles, which is how he got the role. How about that?
Because this was because the original actor, they didn't quite like his Yorkshire accent, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, that's very true. And also, did you know he was the first established celebrity to appear on the series Sesame Street as well in 1969? He was the first one, and he's only one of 14 individuals who are a EGOT, meaning that he's received at least one of all 4 major entertainment awards: an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. Other recipients in chronological order are Richard Rodgers, Barbra Streisand, Helen Hayes, Rita Monroe, is that Liza Minnelli, John Gielgud, Audrey Hepburn, Marvin Hamlisch, or whatever, and some others. Mel Brooks, Whoopi Goldberg as well. Yeah, and it says here also, his death was announced during a live broadcast on the NBA playoff game in April '98. The deceased was actually James L. Ray, convicted assassin of Martin Luther King, but they mistook it for James L. Jones. And of course, he was also the voice of This Is CNN. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're wondering the AI software that they used in Obi-Wan Kenobi, it's called Respeecher, respeecher.com. They also de-aged the voice of Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, which people on a laptop have managed to do slightly a little bit better if you go onto the news channels and stuff. Yeah, very sad. Very, very sad. What have you got? Have you got any news?
Yeah, I've got quite an interesting one for you that I do think is quite funny from Fantrax. And yeah, it's not exactly the same, but I did think it was funny. A 7-year-old child in the UK called Loki Skywalker Mulberry is refused a passport on copyright issues.
Really?
Yes, because basically the Home Office in the UK said that you need to go to Disney and ask for permission to use the name Skywalker to get an officially get a passport.
No way. I can't believe that.
Well, you'd be surprised what's copyrighted out there. For example, a lot of actors' names are copyrighted. A lot of celebrities are copyrighted. For example, Taylor Swift is copyrighted. Taylor Swift's cats, their names are copyrighted. So if you call technically, if you call it yourself Taylor Swift on the internet, technically you are breaching copyright law because she owns the right to that name. So being declined a passport because your name has Skywalker in, I think is a bit, I wouldn't say over the top, but in the article it says that they believe that the Home Office needs to recognize the modernizing, that modern names are evolving.
Yeah.
And I think it's a very interesting one that Loki is probably copyrighted to Marvel. Skywalker is copyrighted to Star Wars. And yeah, it's one of them interesting things that you didn't know could happen.
What about our good friend of the show, Jason Christman? His son is called Kanan from Rebels, Star Wars Rebels.
Yes, but that's more of a common name when Skywalker is like an officially trademarked thing of Disney. It would be very hard to trademark like the name Kanan. When it'd be quite easier to trademark something like Burnwood,
yeah,
or two singular words put together, like my company name, Everfund, hard to trademark. Everfund is one word, much easier to trademark. So if his name was Loki space Sky space Walker space Mulberry, wouldn't have a problem. Would be very hard to get the copyright for. But because Skywalker is one word, it increases the challenge. So this isn't the first time that I've saw this. I remember growing up with someone whose name was Harry Potter, and they couldn't register that name on Facebook or any of the social medias because obviously there was a very famous boy that lived. So having names and challenges, it's quite an interesting one. It's just very interesting to see this happens around Star Wars stuff.
That's bizarre. That is bizarre. Who would have thought that? That's crazy. That is. Oh my God.
But well, it's interesting to say here. So Loki was born on May the 4th, so okay, it makes sense having Star Wars in the name. But previously, the House Office refused a passport to a girl called Khaleesi, a 6-year-old from Swindon in Wiltshire. Warner Brothers held a copyright for that name as it related to goods and services, but the Home Office also related it in that case. In fairness, the child, she was unlikely to be confused with the character as she did not adopt the character's full name, Daenerys Targaryen. The first name of her name, the unburnt queen of... It gets there, but, you know, it's just quite funny that obviously people are free to name their kids, their pets, whatever, but copyright law is a thing and people's names are in there. So, these things are bound to happen sooner or later. Poor child is all I say.
That is bonkers. That is amazing. That is. Just a quick one from Royal Farm Boy or Imperial Activity. He's put James Earl Jones was paid $7,000, should I say, for recording A New Hope in '77, and in 2024 credits money that roughly equals $38,000. That's interesting, isn't it? So he did get paid quite a bit for that. Do you know? I'm just looking at looking up a story, and bloody there's no end of ads keep popping up on the Independent, our newspaper in Britain. So you got any more on that one? Because shall I look on to my one?
You can go on to your one.
Okay. So talking about actors that have passed away, and what I was referring to was that the makers of Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and Disney are being sued over the imaging rights of actor Peter Cushing, whose image was resurrected for the 2016 film. Cushing, who passed away in 1994 from cancer, had played the character Grand Moff Tarkin in the original Star Wars A New Hope movie back in '77. Barring a small animated cameo in 2005's Revenge of the Sith, younger versions of the character voiced by Steven Senton, Tarkin has been mostly unused in the Star Wars universe following Cushing's passing. It's been used no end of times in the Clone Wars. However, Rogue One opted to resurrect the character and Cushing's likeness for the critical acclaimed prequel starring Felicity Jones and Mackelson. Guy Henry appeared as Cushing's body double and voice, while the late actor's face was digitally reconstructed. The same film also used a digitally recreation of a younger version of Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia, which to me that did look a bit. So now, in 2017, John Noe, who served as visual effects supervisor on Rogue One, said Cushing would have given the green light. We weren't doing anything that I think Peter Cushing wouldn't have objected to. I think this work was done with the great deal of affection and care, he told Yahoo Movies. So now one of Cushing's oldest, Kevin Francis, is claiming that the actor never gave anyone permission to reproduce his appearance via special effects without his prior authorization. The pair worked on a number of movies together, including The Ghoul, Legend of the Werewolf, The Masks of Death. So that must be one of one of Cushion's oldest friends. They've just missed off the friends on this. He claims the agreement was made between Cushion and himself in '93 before the actor died while they was preparing to make a film called A Heritage of Horror, which was never completed. The Times reporter that on the September, the Disney group, who owned the rights to Star Wars and made Rogue One, failed to have Francis's claims for unjust enrichment dismissed from the high courts. So they tried to get it dismissed, but they couldn't. Francis' corporate company, Tyburn Film Productions, have also brought forward a claim against Rogue One producers Lannick Heavy Industrials, as well as Cushion's agency and executives of his estate. That's weird. That is pretty weird because let me think. If his estate said, yeah, use it, surely they are the people, because that's his estate, isn't it? That's his family. Because it says, reading this article, it just seems to me, Chris, that it's just a verbal agreement that Cushion must have made. But would Cushion have made an agreement with this guy back then saying, oh, if they're going to use my face digitally in the future, make sure you get permission? Would they?
It's a thing of copyright. Technically, if an agreement was made earlier than an agreement, then it technically does have rights, but verbal agreement is very hard to hold up in a court of law because it's very hard to prove that it had. So I think it's a lot of air, a lot of dust to settle to basically not go anywhere, but I think it's very hard to know overall. But yeah, it's just one of these things about copyright as well. Who owns what?
Lucasfilm have protested the case, claiming that they didn't need permission to recreate Cushion's image when A New Hope was remastered in '97, and that £28,454 pounds was paid to the estate to clear the use of his appearance. After dismissing Disney's appeal, the High Court judge said, I am also not persuaded that the case is unarguable to the standard required to give summary judgment or to strike it out. He added, in an area of developing law, this is very difficult to decide where the boundaries might lie in the absence of a full factual inquiry. Yeah, so that is that's strange. Do you know what? A lot of people had a problem with Peter Cushion's resurrection in Rogue One. Me, I did not. I thought it was great, absolutely fantastic, and I'm glad they used him. I'm glad they put him in. I thought it was all right. Me, what did you think?
I think it was genuinely okay. I think we're getting into a very hard world where we're seeing this with Marvel as well. Is like, you could just say, just recast him, put someone who looks a bit like him as him. Would that be okay? Yeah, I don't see a problem with that. But then also you get a bit of the pernickety side of it where Marvel is now in that section where it's like, yeah, but Loki could look 20 different ways in 20 different universes and, 3 Spider-Mans. And it's like, we're not talking about multiverses. We're just talking about someone replacing someone as an actor. And I think my personal opinion is like characters like Han Solo, Leia, Luke, they are not immortal beings. Like, you can recast younger versions of them and such, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
I think generally overall, yeah, it was totally okay to do this, but I just think it's one of the things where someone believes they have a claim against Disney, and how they see it is they could make a lot of money if Disney settles outside of court, or as long as they be annoying enough, Disney could pay out.
Imperative. I agree with both you. Hope this turns up to be just hot air. That, yeah, to be fair. But if it's enough of a case for them to not just chuck it out, I think it's going to have some momentum. It's going to have some legs. This the Copyright and Related Rights Regulations, 1996. Lucasfilm also contended that Regulation 31 of the 1996 Copyright and Related Rights Regulations, which was the law in place when Cushion's death, provided them with transition provisions between the bundle of different rights that performers accrued under earlier legislation.
Legalization.
Yeah, legalize. That's it. And the performance rights created by the Copyright Designers and Patent Act of 1988. So there's the Fantatracks have got a fantastic summary of it, and I'll take the link and I'll put it in the show notes when I post it on online, because it's got the defendants, the Tyburn Productions Limited. It's got all different the agreement. This 1976 agreement was, and it's got the statements as well. Clause right: the lender, Cushion, gives away consent and grants to the company Star Wars Productions Limited the rights throughout the world to use and authorize others in relation to other reproductions of the artist's physical likeness. Recordings taken or made directly or indirectly from the artist's performance, his engagements hereunder, to make or authorize others to make, including any other recordings whatsoever of the artist's performance or any part thereof, to exploit the same, and for the purpose of advertising, publicizing, and commercially exploiting the film, or otherwise as the company may desire. So that's the agreement, saying basically when he signed that contract, he signed his likeness away, you could say.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think it's a really hard one. But keeping with this sorrowing depression train, I think it's worth to talk about the most sorrowing thing of all.
What could that be?
We've not covered this yet, but to me, this is quite sad. And that is
possibly be.
Well, you just have to wait and see. That is obviously Disney not moving forward with a season 2 of The Acolyte.
I wonder why. Chris. What do you reckon?
Well, we haven't reviewed this TV show yet, but we will.
Mm-hmm.
We will.
We will. To be fair.
And you know, I can give my personal thoughts right now. Is I quite enjoyed it. I think it was a very different direction for Star Wars, but a very much sense of something new, something quirky, something creative, something outside of the mold of what we see day in, day out. And personally, I think Manny Jacquin was such a standout in this TV show that, like, yes, you know, goofy, whatever, but there was so much of this TV show that got axed too early. But yeah, where to actually start? So let's talk about it, because I pulled up a few articles. I've got an article from Lee Jung-jing, Manny Jacobs, and the other main actor, Amanda Stenberg, and with their thoughts and their feelings about it. Before we go forward, what did you think of the TV show?
Right. So I have Jack Into said Jacinto. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Manny Jacinto.
So I've watched it all apart from the last 2 episodes. Yeah. And I'm with you, Chris, that at some point it was a very good idea. I mean, a very good idea. We both spoke before this series come out how interested we were in it. From the trailer, we thought, well, this looks really, really interesting. And they had hired a couple of my favorite actors in it. I was thinking, oh man, this is going to be great. And then what they put out was just dumb. It was dumb. It did have some good bits in it, but it was just dumb. They're trying to rewrite what is already established. And they made stuff that they literally must have just chucked stuff at the wall to see what stuck. It's such a shame to me that Jacinto was used in this and Carrie-Anne Moss was used in this, because Carrie-Anne Moss as a Jedi, that is a match made in heaven to me. I would sit and watch a series based on her being a Jedi all day long. You know what I mean? But spoilers, we'll go into spoilers on this because it's been episode 9. To kill her off in the first episode, it was like, what? That is just stupid. And the continuation of the story just got dumber, and the characters were just dumb, and some of the actors themselves were just wooden. I mean, wooden. And there was like one scene where you see one of the Jedis looking at this shop with his binoculars, and you see in the view on his binoculars is going beep 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 beep, and he's going, yes, I'm keeping quite a good eye on him, beep 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 beep. And then there's another scene where the guy comes out of his shop and has a fight right outside, and the Jedi that was looking at him through these binoculars was literally about 10 foot away from it on a balcony. And yet, and it was like, did nobody even think to himself, do you know what? That's a bit close to use binoculars. He could have just sat there and looked. And when the guy turned around and went, is anyone looking to see if I'm sneaking in? Yeah. Yeah, there's a Jedi right there. Yeah, mate. I can see you. I've got my eye on you. It was just dumb. It was just dumb. And I was getting frustrated with it. As I was watching it, I was thinking, oh, God, no, the next scene's going to get better. Oh, and it did have some really good bits in it. But it was just, it wasn't, was it, is it the worst Star Wars we've ever had? No, it's not. Right? Is it the best Star Wars we've had? Absolutely not. Yeah, I mean, this series, once I've watched it and we've gave our proper views on it, is one that I will gladly make it just disappear. Tell you what, Disney, here's an idea for you. All those fantastic stories and books that you made legends, well, why don't you make this series legends so it's no longer canon and chuck it out? Or they're gonna do a Willow on it so it just never existed.
I think that's really, strong opinions coming from yourself that I can respect. But like myself, we enjoy different kind of fine wine. And I very much see the flaws in the TV show that you mentioned, but the bonuses, the goodness, the uniqueness, the quirkiness outweighed all of them flaws. And I even started a mini debate with Holly, my partner, that I said the Acolyte was better than Ahsoka season 1. But the only reason Ahsoka season 1 was, so good is because it's Ahsoka, because it's Thrawn, because it's Ezra, because it's, all of these characters. But if it wasn't any of these characters that we knew, you would have got bored of Ahsoka very fast and been like, what? Yeah. This story is supposed to be going to this planet, and it took 6 episodes to get to this planet. Yeah, but it's because the people we know, and the TV show, shot for the fences. It hit some things really well. It missed on others. Not finishing the TV show is very the best episodes are the last 2 episodes to a certain extent, with also Night that was midway through. The choreography, all them things were really good. I think that we're not done in this era. I very much think they will rescope it, potentially with a different director and a different name, and be like, oh, it's not season 2, it's season 1 of, Darth Plagueis, because obviously they hinted to this at the very end. But obviously, what's done is done. Disney can do what they wish with Star Wars, and all of us do not get an opinion. So let's hear some of the actors' opinions.
Yes, go on then. Yeah.
So we will start with Manny. Manny at DragonCon went on stage and he said that his personal life goal is to now get a season 2 for The Acolyte.
Yeah.
So I thought that was quite funny.
Do you know what? He is such a great actor. I like him. And me and you have said this. He's in Another Place, and he's great. He played like a dumb character, but he was so lovable. I loved his character. So when he was in this, I thought, great, another great actor to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he's also nominated for the Sexiest Man Alive. Just so you know, pop that one in there. You can go vote now. But where I was going to get to is his opinion. I did have it up as a document. I can't find it. So yeah, his life goal is to get season 2 of Acolyte. So what's Lee Jong-jin's opinion? And that is as following. As you know, my character had died already in the first season, so I wouldn't have it appeared in the season 2 if there was one anyway. But personally speaking, I really loved Leslie's writing. I thought she had a great writer and director who was very talented in storytelling, as well as creating characters and creating meaningful structure with the story. So I was actually really looking forward to watching a season 2 with her at the helm. And it was a season that award-winning Squid Games actor explained to see is now disappointed to not get. To hear news, I was quite surprised personally as well. However, like many fans, Lee is not ready to fully let go of the hope of more Acolyte at some point in the future, and not dismissive of others' favorite scruffy nerf herder, and never tell him the odds. Honestly, I am hoping that maybe there could be changes in the future, Lee says, because you never know what's going to happen. So on a personal level, I really hope we can get to see further stories of Leslie's second season. So that's a really interesting one, because it kind of says that it was kind of scoped out where they was going, and for Disney to pull the plug, I think I have my opinions why, and everyone does. You will say bad story writing or whatever, but I think it's a myriad opinions of a lot of things. But there's one more opinion that obviously I think is really important out there, and that's Amanda Stenberg opinion. And she said that it's not a huge shock for me. Of course, I live in a bubble of my own reality, but for those who aren't aware of the rampant vitriol that we have faced since the show was even announced, when it was still in just a concept and no one had even seen it, that's where we started experiencing a rampant of, I would say, hyper conservative bigotry and vitriol, prejudice, hatred, and hateful images and languages towards us. And this really affected me when I first got the job, because it's just not something, even though I anticipated happening, it's not something you can fully understand what it feels like until it's happening to you. It's not lost on me how the way that these events have unfolded. It's also due to hyper diversiveness of times that we live in, that is driven, I would say, to the point by echo chambers and thoughts of algorithms that reinforce our biases. I think that appeals to everybody, but I think that in particular, set of people, it manifests a lot of their fears for what is changing, a lot of hatred for anything that is other. I would challenge us all and challenge myself to continue questioning what is, and that I digest and think critically about what shapes it. It has been an honor and a dream for me to work in this universe, even though, of course, I'm very sad about the show being cancelled. I'm sad about us not being able to give people who are invested into it more. I still just feel a lot of levy and joy around the fact that I got to experience it. The fact people loved it, the people who were so responsive. I poured through a lot of different iterations of fan art, ship art, and fan theories, and other things that were just so beautiful and filled my heart with joy. I just want to let those people know out there who supported us in that way and supported us vocally in the face of all the vitriol that we received, the kind of the target I would say we received by the alt-right, just that you were deeply loved and appreciated, and it made this job all the worthwhile for me, and it made all the challenging elements of it completely worthwhile for me. So yeah, she also said a special mention that she really likes Leslie Headland, and she's one of the best people in the world. I think she's incredibly talented and unique. I love her forever. I love the experiences we had experiences with her forever. And she just wants to thank everyone that watched in. Thank you for being so loving and supportive and excited, nerdy and awesome, and continue to process this for a really long time. So that's a really long statement from the main actor.
Mm.
But
And I tell you, well, go on, Chris. Yeah.
No, I think overall, we can all like disagree with how some stories or how things can go. You know, original trilogy is boring as hell. Could be arsed with it. That's my personal opinion. Couldn't care about Darth Vader. Care about Anakin Skywalker though. We all have diverse opinions here. But I think overall, like, they did it, and I'm glad they did it. And I'm personally one of the people that are sad that they didn't get a chance to continue it. But my question to move this forward is, how does it make you feel about the Skeleton Crew?
Whoa. Let me just finish up on this. Her statement, right? She, to be fair, when all this stuff about the Acolyte was slowly coming out, I was all for it. And I'm in that category that she says that are hate, far right, or whatever she wants to come out with, all that crap, right? But I was quite looking forward to it. But even when her and Leslie went and did that disastrous press tour on it, which was awful, and they went out their way to piss off a lot of fans. They deliberately went out and done it, and that's the problem with modern Disney and the actors and that. They go out their way to make sure that they get that kind of reaction, because then they know that people are going to watch it. They're like, oh, I've got to sit down and watch this. You know, I disagree with it. I'm going to watch it, right? No, unfortunately, it doesn't matter what all these fans said or whatever. Nobody bothered to watch it. It didn't even get on it. That Nelson's thing that they do, that ratings, nobody watched it. And if they had so many fans like they said they did, well, they wouldn't have cancelled it. You know what I mean? They would have carried on with it, right? So when she makes statements like that, it makes me as a fan angry, because she brought a lot of that crap to herself with her claiming copyright strikes of various YouTube channels, making a diss track where she was slagging off fans, right? Hold on. If you want to have a problem, stop making the problem. Yeah. If the show was really, really good, you loved it. Me, I would have gone, do you know what, Chris? I totally enjoyed that series. I really did. You know what I mean? I'm not sitting and saying it was crap. Basically, it was crap, but it's not the worst crap I've seen. But unfortunately, Disney have got to learn by their mistakes. Unfortunately, they're not going to please everyone and I appreciate that, right? But there's no reason to go out and make trouble and be like that with fans. You know what I mean? And then give some statement like, oh well, you know, mate, I'm sorry to see it finish because, you know, far right fans are all pissed off, blah 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 blah. Sorry, don't like that. The kind of statements that she made for that. Well, I'm glad she's been made unemployed and she can just bugger off to the next project that she's on. Honestly, I can't stand it. You know what I mean? She's in a position where she's making Star Wars, you know what I mean? And then in a private life to be so negative herself, then not interested in it. Not interested in it. So yeah, I'm glad that. Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. Now let's get round to the Skeleton Crew, shall we?
Well, the thing that I wanted to bring up with this is what made it get cancelled. Yeah, just what Royal Farmboy said. People did watch it. More people have watched The Acolyte than watched Andor. So which one deserves a season 2?
Yeah, but they're saying, according to Disney, they're saying the reason why The Acolyte is not getting a second season is because basically it didn't get the numbers. Yeah. So what is the real line here? Royal Farmboy, to be fair, you're dead right. People watched it. I watched it. You know what I mean? I didn't like it, but I watched it because it's Star Wars. I didn't finish it because it started to get on my nerves. To be fair, but I will watch it, and I tell you what, I will be coming round to it when we talk about like the Patterson cut. If they do another version of this, a different cut, I'll probably sit down and watch it and think, do you know what? That was absolutely great. Which I do want to talk about some other Patterson cuts that's been out, right? So yeah, but people watched it. So you tell me, Chris, or you know, Royal Farmboy, if more people watch The Acolyte than Andor, why is Disney gone online to say, yeah, we're cancelling The Acolyte because no one watched it, but we're going for a second season on Andor?
Because that's the very easy answer to say. That doesn't diverse the population. For example, Agatha All Along as on Friday, I believe it is, and they have also came out saying it's the gayest Marvel project.
I know. You know? Why? It just blows my mind why they have to come out with this crap.
Because we need more opinions, more views.
No, it's not. I tell you what, Chris. Right? Agatha All Along is a series that nobody really wanted. And I said to Nikki, when I watched the trailer, I thought, do you know what? We'll watch it. It'll be nice for Halloween. We'll watch it, yeah? We've not watched it yet. And so it had that sense of, oh, let's, you know, Witches of Eastwick, that kind of thing. Let's watch it. Then they come out with that kind of statement deliberately to get people's backs up. Now, me and Nikki watching a series called Chaos, yeah? And that's proper diverse. It's proper inclusion. It's got everything from, you know, from the LGBT community. And do you know what, Chris? It's great. I like it. It's brilliant. The writing is very clever. The actors are very good in it.
It's
but
LGBTQ+.
Or whatever it is, right? It's really good. Do you know why? Because they've not gone around spurting it like up people's back, getting people's backs up, right? It's good writing, good actors. Yeah, doesn't matter if they're gay or straight or whatever they want to be. If they want to be a fridge, they can be a fridge. If they want to be a cat or dog, they can, right? Whatever. It's good writing. It's good acting. It's well scripted. It's I enjoy it. And once I finish with this, I'll probably go down and watch another episode because I've got 2 episodes left. So why can't they not just go down that route? Why? Because Disney need people to engage in hate, unfortunately. So they deliberately tell their actors, you know what? I think you best get on X or something, you know, tell them about all the death threats you're going to be getting. You know, it's not going to be good. You know, you being, you know what I mean? And so they go, oh, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And everyone goes, here we go again. In fact, when that came up on Twitter about them being the gays, I just put a meme going, here we go again. Because it was like, here we go again. Why? Why, Chris? Why? Just tell me why.
Why do people go to businesses that are LGBT owned? You know, because they want to identify with something they care about. And, you know, with all things, you know, Royal Farmboy, obviously, the things that we haven't spoke about with the reason Acolyte being cancelled was the mass amount of reshoots, the budget and how expensive it was. But also, and I think this is the biggest problem of them all, and I 100% think Skeleton Crew will fall into the same problem. And you've already brought it up in other ways, is the Disney Plus format, the streaming format, is not the correct format for a lot of Star Wars content. And you've said it already. You know, you watched this thing called the Patterson cut of Book of Boba Fett.
Book of Boba, yeah.
2-hour thing. That shows that, you know, there's a lot of content on the cutting room floor that would make it a more compelling cut of that series. Obviously, Andor has been the only Disney Plus Star Wars TV show that has had, you know, different episode lengths. Season 1 wasn't the typical 8 episodes of all TV shows. And I think this is a massive plaguing problem for Disney. It's a massive plaguing problem for Marvel as well. And I genuinely don't think the Skeleton Crew is going to go down well. I think it's going to be plagued with all the same problems that go all the way back to Obi-Wan. And I don't want to be a pessimist when I talk about my Star Wars, but yeah, I think there's a lot of problems that they really need to rethink about and come back to the table with.
Well, let's talk about the Skeleton Crew. I do want to talk about the Patterson cuts as well, but since we've mentioned the Skeleton Crew a couple of times, let's move on to that. And also, just in case nobody caught it, let me just put what Royal Farmboy put up. Said Andor had been planned from its start to be 2 seasons. It was originally to be 5, then shortened to 2, and the money to make it was previously allocated. So I think, yeah, you're right. I remember reading about that actually, how it was going to be 5, and then it was put down to 2. Right, so let's have a look at Skeleton Crew, because also, didn't you see the trailer? Didn't you see a trailer for the Skeleton Crew at Celebrations? So let's watch this. Then I want you to tell me if this is the one you've seen, which I bet you it's not. All right, let's put this in. Right. Yeah, here we go.
Tomorrow's test will set the course of your entire future.
Don't you ever want to do anything exciting? Like what? What if we could go anywhere we want in the whole galaxy? A real adventure. No more pretend. I found something buried in the woods. What do you think it is? I think it's a lost Jedi temple. Hello? Be careful where you step. We're lost. Really lost.
It is dangerous out there in space. Trust no one.
You're a Jedi.
Do you know? I really like that trailer. It gives me warm feelings of it, the way the way it's been edited, the way it's been shot, and the way the music is. It is proper Steven Spielberg, 80s ambulance entertainment. You could tell. You know what I mean? Some shots on it look green screen, 100%. Right, but um, I, you know what? And I hope to God I'm going to be right with this. Seeing Jude Law as a Jedi. I love Jude Law. I think he's a fantastic actor, and I'm quite looking forward to this. If it gives me all the feels, if the story's good, Chris, and I hope it is, then I'm all for it. What do you reckon?
You know, it definitely makes a good Star Wars story when another Jedi pops up out of the ether that seemed to have survived Order 66.
Oh, yeah, that's true. When is this set?
It's set after The Mandalorian season 3 and
Okay.
Ahsoka.
Raw Boy says yes. What Jamie said, yes.
I'm personally very reserved on it. Because if I've seen anything, it's that I'm getting a lot more cynical on trailers, because the trailers tend to have the best parts. And yeah, I think, you know, I really want to be positive, but look how they massacred my boy. You know, look how they massacred my acolyte. You know, I can't be positive about it right now. You know, they can they can take away season 2 of that, then they can take a season 2 away from a bunch of kids.
Yeah. Now, is this the trailer that you saw, Chris, at Celebration?
I saw a very cut down sneak peek that was about a minute long. It had the Jude Law part at the end. It had the street at the beginning, and a scene that the kids were missing, no longer there. It had a sneak peek of the pirate that was also in Mandalorian season 3. But overall, beat by beat, this is roughly the same footage that I saw.
Right. Okay.
This I believe this show has had a lot of reshoots as well. Yeah, I don't know. What do you want from Star Wars these days? You know, do you want an ET ripoff, or do you want the Skywalker trilogy? More of the Skywalker trilogy.
No, that can be just later rest now, unless they're going to make episodes 7, 8, and 9 Legends. Yeah, put that to rest. I want good, would say wholesome, family-orientated stories, and I mean great writing by proper fans that have done their homework, that have loved Star Wars from day one, know what Star Wars is all about. What, you know, I know it's not just for me, but it's for my kids. But when my kids, as in Chris, not Chris, sorry, Chris, you're my son, but I mean your younger brother, when Nicholas goes, you know what I mean? That's saying something as well, you know, because he's a big Star Wars fan. But I want Star Wars that's going to give me goosebumps. I recently went to see Empire Jedi on the cinema on the big screen, and it gave me goosebumps, Chris. And I've watched it hundreds and hundreds of times, but it gave me goosebumps. It gave me that feeling of when I was a kid again. And I want Star Wars to make me feel like a kid again. I really do. I want Star Wars to make me go, do you know what, Chris? I love it. Give me more. I want to be the kid in the sweet shop stuffing Star Wars down my throat again. You know what I mean? I dream the Star Wars. Some of my best memories when I was a child are with Star Wars, even with the toys, with my memories, with friends, with my family, with my mum, not much with my dad, but my mum, and the thrill of my mum enjoying watching me enjoy Star Wars is magic. It was just magic, and I'll always have those memories of that time. And I want that. I don't want to watch Star Wars and go, God damn. You know what I mean? I just don't know. But this gives me them feels. We'll see when the episodes air what it's like, and I'm praying to James Earl Jones, please, 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 please. I'm hoping this is going to be good. Just
Do you think ET would be good if it was 8 hours long, split weekly?
no.
Wow, good. You got some looking forward to do.
Raw Farboy said the timeline is set during between season 2 of Mando and the book of Boba Fett and Ahsoka. So you were right, Chris. You were right on that one. Because it just the way the trailer plays out, it seems sort of makes out that the Jedi's have long gone. Well, I suppose they are, aren't they? I suppose, yeah. They in some out worlds they wouldn't know about Skywalker or the Jedi's coming back and defeated. Perhaps the Empire. Is it made out that the Empire have not touched these worlds? Do you reckon?
No, the Empire would have been there and been gone, and these would have been outer rim worlds that were more ruled by I forgot the warlords, Empire warlords.
Yeah.
Just like in Mandalorian season 2, the remnant is around.
But this gives you the look of like modern day, like modern day America. Do you know what I mean? With the houses and suburbia, should I say? Like E.T. Those suburban houses. It looks like that where warlords never touched it. It had quite a proper government. You know what I mean? Everything was
because they're on the capital of the New Republic. The new capital, the one after the one that got blew up.
Right. Also, just a side note, the reason I froze it on this image, if you listen to the audio, is I frozen on the image of this little furry pink creature inside a cage in the trailer. Now that is the creature, digital creature of the same creature that was in Captain EO, Michael Jackson. Right, he had this little creature on his shoulder. See if you could bring up an image, Chris. Put in Captain EO, Michael Jackson, and see if you can find a picture of this creature on his shoulder. And it's that creature. So it's making Captain EO canon, maybe with Michael Jackson.
Definitely not.
Can you find it?
No. I'm just going to scoot past that. Overall, I wouldn't say I'm not looking forward to this TV show, but Disney's got a bit of a hard rep right now. Canceling the fan beloved TV shows.
Yeah. It certainly looks interesting. I'll tell you, it certainly looks interesting. Yeah, I'm all set for it. When's it on? December? Is that when it's on? December?
Yep. December the 4th. It's very delayed. It was meant to be out Christmas last year.
God, yeah, I remember because we were speculating when's it coming out, because wasn't this supposed to be out before The Acolyte? And hold on then. So when is season 2 of
Andor
coming out then? Is that next year?
Yeah, it's not got a release date, but I think it'll be summer next year.
Oh, right. Okay, fair enough.
I don't know. I am looking forward to it. I'm just very cynical because how they butchered my boy. That I like we've said, even the TV shows with best intentions can be crowded by corporate bureaucracy and espionage. And I'm very much at a point where the cynicalness is wearing off. And when you said earlier about like the Star Wars that you want, the Star Wars that you live for, that Star Wars is gone. I don't want to poop your party, but that Star Wars is gone, just like it's gone for Star Trek, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, there we go. I think
Oh, from today on Skeleton. Sorry, Chris. Raw Farmboy said there is a new EW article from today on Skeleton Crew.
yeah,
I'll drop a link to you here. Let's have a look. See, let's have
exclusive photos. Yeah, I've got it.
Oh yeah, let's have a look, Chris. Whack it on. Doink. Ah, right. So, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's one of those. That's a Wickway creature there. That Wolfman wasn't here, but Royal Farmboy, I know this. Wasn't that Wolfman one of the original creatures in the cantina? Wasn't he the original creature? You just see him like in the cantina with this creature that goes like this sort of thing. But I think they digitally removed him with another creature, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
Very nice. And if I remember rightly, it basically that mask was just used from like a Wolfman horror film because they just grabbed different masks. It's called you ready for this? Yeah, go on then, Raw Farmboy. He knows. Is he going to put it? I can't remember what the creature is called itself, but that's a Wickway. Is he putting it down? Well, go on then, Chris. Yeah, you talk.
So this was the character from season 2 of The Mandalorian, Gunther. Obviously, he escaped. And it is a Shizavana. Yeah, looking at these screenshots.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's
two lovely thing of just 2 photos. We're really eating much day. So the question is, we already have Han Solo and we already have Luke Skywalker. But what if you put Han Solo and Luke Skywalker together? Well, you get Jude Law.
Jude Law, yeah.
And the thing is, what's great is that the TV show is going to have all these aliens, all these pirates. Great. But if the whole story is, well, kids, these pirates are not bad people. They've just done a few bad things. And a kid is going to come into their life and teach them the right way. And then the pirates are going to help the kids get back home. Yeah. Then we've really lost hope in Star Wars. But, I'm being very cynical. I'm looking forward to it. I'm just pulling your leg. But
yeah,
it kind of is worrying when you say that,
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it as well. So I've also got something else now. So moving on, are we done with that Skeleton Crew? Yeah.
Just scanning the article.
Yeah.
I think so overall. Just saying that, like, the series is sweet spot. Let's read it full. So Star Wars Skeleton Crew will tell the tale of 4 children who discover a secret and then get into a series of adventures that attempt to find a way back to their home planet. What the secret is, I'm unsure if it's been announced, but I'm pretty sure I remember what it is from the sneak peek that I saw from the trailer. And against fearsome foes, mainly pirates, Entertainment Weekly has an exclusive first look at those space pirates below, as well as another exclusive image of Jude Law's Jana Norwood and the show's 4 pint-sized heroes. And also spoke to the Skeleton Crew creator John Watts and Christopher Ford about the potential hive of scum and villainy. These are pirates, confirmed Ford the photo subject above, space pirates. And not just any space pirates, but they're none other than the Urkel himself, Jelly White, looking vaguely cyborg-esque as Gunther. To the left of Gunther is the pesky character Star Wars fans may recognize, the unsavory Vance, who gave Din Djarin the Grief Karga such a hard time in The Mandalorian. Rounding out the not-so-merry band of pirates to the right of Gunther is Bortus, voiced by Fred Tascori and played by the performance artist Steve O'Young, Pax performance artist Mike Yates, and Charlotte Orange is the New Black, the Star Wars. With Skeleton Crew taking place in the same time as the shows like The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, and Ahsoka, after the fall of the second Death Star, and before the rise of the First Order, this means that there is a lack of one of what might call Imperial enforcement. Naturally, that allows nefarious forces to thrive. With the era we're in, we're kind of getting to play with the lawless thing, says Ford. The Empire is gone, so we're playing with part of the galaxy that have a resurgence in piracy. Pirates play a role in the season 3 of The Mandalorian, as folks like Gorrigan and Shard and Vane created chaos on Navarro, and now it appears we will meet more unscrupulous characters of the same ilk. Pirates are talked about so much in Star Wars, Ford notes. People would call Han Solo a pirate, and he'd be like, "How dare you?" And we've seen some awesome pirates in animated shows, so they were really something where both executive producers Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau were really excited to do more pirate things. Exploring the edges of wild space is something that co-creators Watts is excited to do, not just to his love of Star Wars, but also because of his love of certain LucasArts games, game series that date all the way back to 1990. I'm also a big fan of Monkey Island, says Watts. There's also classic Lucas, so there's something between Star Wars pirates and Monkey Island pirates. I think we found our sweet spot. Finding the sweet spot was something Watts and Ford were looking to do for the series as a whole, as they created an entire new world within the already pre-existing one of Star Wars, a world where certain rules that can't be broken. What's great about working at Lucasfilm is that you'll let you know if you're going out of the boundaries. What says Dave Filoni is our goalkeeper, and what means that literally of the creative visionaries overseeing Star Wars streaming galaxy he is also a great hockey player, but he's also a figurative goalkeeper. We will come up with ideas of things that we like, and then it will be like, actually, maybe this, or oh, we already did something like that somewhere else, and you'll end up with a bunch of other episodes of Star Wars to go watch and things to read, and it's good. You feel like you can safely explore things creatively without making some huge canonical mistakes, adds Ford. And he gets both sides of that. He did that mentoring under George Lucas, so he gets that thing of, I want to make a whole new kind of Jedi, and then someone being like, okay, hold on, a lot of people have already thought about this, let's do this the right way, and it's helpful even when it comes to pirates. So yeah, very interesting article. Overall, I don't know, I'm very intrepid about this TV show. Intrepidous. I hope it's good, but at the same time, would ET be great if it was 8 episodes long? I don't know. And I think that's the problem with a lot of the streaming services we have right now. I'm cautious, but I expect it to be really good. Dave Filoni being the goalkeeper, guiding them, I think is really great. Do you want to place your wagers now? How long it will be until we see Hando Anoka?
Yeah. I bet you he'll be in it. Live action. I was just seeing.
I bet you he'll be the cameo at the end of season 1 to guarantee it's season 2.
Guaranteed. I was just looking at the credits for this for John Watts and Christopher, and basically they worked on Spider-Man: No Way Home, Homecoming, our RoboCop remake, The Onion, The Fuzz. You know what I mean? Writer. Let's see. Writer. What he's wrote. He's wrote 11. So he's wrote Wolves, Homecoming, Cop Car, Eugene, The Fuzz Clown, Invisible Dog. Yeah. I've never heard of them before, to be fair, of these two creators. Yeah. But we'll have to see how it goes. But definitely Jude Law. Yeah. And seeing some of the pictures that are on IMDb. They've got, funny enough, IMDb have got more photographs of the Skeleton Crew that have been released. Yeah. Unless these were released during Star Wars celebrations. Let me just show you. Go into that. There we go. Look, this one here. Yeah, these ones here. Now, there's 3 of those droids trying to tell Jude Law who's he's coming in or not. Sponsored. Going to crew. And the other thing as well, Chris, the logo is kept the same. Yeah. The logo is kept the same because the Acolyte changed their logo from when we first seen it to how it suddenly was put on the actual show. Yeah.
Yeah, and don't forget we've not had Star Wars celebrations in Japan, so I fully expect by the time it comes to Star Wars celebrations in Japan, they will show off Andor season 2 and then get on stage to announce whatever they're doing next. Probably an update to the Rey film, probably an update to James Mangold's film. But yeah, it feels very, very slow with Star Wars right now.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting. Now, moving on from that, are we all done with Skeleton Crew, by the way? Yeah?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay, so let's remove that. Now, I'm going to... What we talked about the Patterson cut. So let me just share my screen again to this one. The Patterson cut. Right. So I recently downloaded and watched the Book of Boba Part 1 and Part 2. Both parts were done as a 2.5-hour movie. Yeah. And I have to say the edit and the pacing was great. It made that series so good that I wish that was put out there. Even my Nikki watched it and went, bloody hell, you know what I mean? They should give these people a job. How can they make a show that was really badly edited into a show that was really well edited? Now, but that was done a couple of years ago. And since then, he's done. I've downloaded the Obi-Wan Kenobi one to watch. I'm sure I started watching that, and that was pretty good. But this is the one I'm going to be downloading next, the Ahsoka one. Now, I just want to play the trailer for Ahsoka, the Patterson cut, to see what that's all about. If that's all right with you, Chris?
I'm sure it is.
This is a land of dreams and madness. Children's stories come to life. As you get older, you realize it's all inevitable. Fall of the Jedi. Rise of the Empire. It repeats again and again and again.
Training and focus are what truly define someone's success. I can't use the Force. Not like you do. Not like Ezra. I know my training wasn't easy. There's nothing easy about being a Jedi.
You need to be able to make it on your own.
I think I know how to find Ezra.
What I seek is the beginning.
Keep your lid on, Chop.
To come to this.
Mm. What do you reckon to that then, Chris?
Yeah, quite interesting.
Yeah.
I think the Bond choices are terrible, but
Yeah. Yeah, I
leave
thought
them
that as well.
alone.
Now there is two trailers. One is a breakdown of the trailer that the Ahsoka trailer as well as the Patterson cut trailer, and it's also put on an in-depth video of him, how he's altered stuff to show you what he's actually edited. Now, a couple of bits, especially the Patterson cut. There we go. It's like with your boy, with Anakin. Where he comes on.
In this war, you will face more than just droids. General Grievous, Saj Ventress, even Count
Let's see
Dooku.
if I can get to it. So I think, because I know he's done new scenes.
I know you can do this, Ahsoka.
And he's digitally altered backgrounds as well for the space between spaces, that what do they call it? Where Ahsoka went to.
He sacrificed himself to liberate our world.
See if I can find it.
Sorry for disappearing on you.
I think I know how to find Ezra. But I must
It's
warn
not showing you on that.
This isn't just a rescue mission.
Was it there? Is it there? Oh yeah, there it is. See that? So he's edited that background for when they're fighting. I was actually pointing to the screen there, right there. For certain bits. So he's done a lot of digitally alterations to it as well. I'm quite looking forward to it. I shall put the link to his cut. It's basically right there. If you just put the Patterson cut on Google, it will bring up with Carl Patterson and his link there. So just click on the link as I do there. It'll bring up his trailers, and if you go right down, it'll tell you about the copyright, the movie, and how to download it, and the password. It's quite simple. And I've got Disney Plus. You've got Disney Plus. We both pay for it, and it says about copyright, saying that only watch this movie if you pay for subscription to Disney, basically, and we do. So that's it. So it's not making. To be fair, he's not making no money from this. So that's it. Do you want? You'd be able to find that, Chris, won't you?
Yeah. I just don't know how bothered I feel about them though.
Mm.
Because
I don't mind these fan edits. I don't mind these
but
fan
they're not the
edits.
versions we got.
Sorry, say that again.
They're not the versions we got.
Well,
They're,
yeah. The Book of
you
Boba.
know,
So the Book of Boba one was book 1 Without a Tribe and book 2 The Name of Honor. That was really good. I properly enjoyed it. To be fair, Royal Fanboy, not a fan of fan edits or of someone else's Star Wars story. Just my opinion. Yeah. Like we say, we like all opinions here. And I've watched them, and I've watched this one, and I proper enjoyed this one because Boba, book 1 Without a Tribe, it takes all the flashback scenes and it puts them into the continuity of the story. So it starts off with the end of Return of the Jedi, where Boba gets eaten by the Sarlacc. Then it clicks to like the night later when he breaks it, he comes to and he escapes, and then it goes on through him being taken by the Tuskens and stuff like. It's really good. Rob says, I agree with Chris. I take the original storyteller story every time. Okay, yeah, fair enough. But isn't it not worth just having a look? That's the only reason I looked at it. I wanted to find.
I think at the end of the day, I think I think they're interesting cases of how things could have been different. For example, if Disney said this is a 2-hour thing, not an 8-hour thing, we could have seen something like this. I think overall, it's just one of these weird areas where, like, people making fan edits, I'm not sure how much they do with it, but like editing scenes, it kind of gives questionable motives to a certain extent of like, well, that's what I would have done, or like with the Ahsoka one, they gave Shin Sith eyes, and it's like sure, but we go from so much like Dave Filoni's the goalkeeper, he knows exactly what Star Wars to be, to screw all them, the fans know best, and they will make their own edits. And I get it, it's not a single answer here that I'm trying to give, is that like we're in this mosh pit of Star Wars where is it good, is it bad, is it mediocre, and everyone wants very different things from it. And I think like overall, I think it's cool that people are doing these fan edits. You've spoke a lot about them, so I'm gonna give them a watch sooner or later. But like overall, it's that thing of like, if that's what Disney wanted, that's what they should have done. And there's a really interesting thing of it's called Parkinson's law as well. Is people can do things a lot faster in the final periods. For example, you have a timeline that big, but everything really gets done in the third quarter. Things like that with Star Wars, reshoots, rechanging this story, rechanging scenes, moving things around. At the end of the day, some stories come out and it's not what the storytellers wanted. But I definitely don't believe that any storyteller goes out to make a bad story or, go out to make the gayest story or whatever. Like they go out to make good Star Wars. And even with the worst Star Wars, there's things you can take away from it. Like Chewie has a family. Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there are interesting things and definitely want to talk about them. But I definitely want to highlight that, like, my opinion on them is like they're not what we got, in an alternative universe, maybe. But what we got is what Disney gives us, and that's the layer of the law.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, to be fair, yeah, you're right. I wanted to watch them because I watched the originals, and there was a lot of chatter about these cuts online on various other podcasts and stuff, and I thought us being, well, we're a podcasting, let's have a look at them and see what they're like. I did enjoy it. I totally, it is the same story, but in a more linear way, you could say.
Yeah,
And to be fair, I'll be looking forward to seeing the Acolyte, see if they do a cut of the Acolyte as well. But yeah. But I liked it, enjoyed it. Yeah. I've got one more thing. With you, Chris.
Go on there.
Right. So moving on from that, I got given, because it was my birthday, and I got given Star Wars Outlaws for a birthday present. And so I started playing it. And do you know what? Again, a lot of criticism on this. At the moment, I can't see why. I can't see why there was any criticism on this game, because it looks fantastic. It absolutely looks fantastic, and the game starts off on Canto Bright, and it looks fantastic, Chris. It absolutely looks fantastic. The amount of detail in the city that you're walking through, it says it's open world, but it kind of isn't when you're in the city. It is basically a map. You can only go certain ways. No end of doors that are locked. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And that next creature that you see in that, great what you can do with it, as like send it out to distract people, to steal stuff or attack. And you hear, I like the constant little bits of chatter as well. The the environment as you're walking past people, and they're going, you know what, those blasters are just no good. I can't wait till we get the T19s and stuff like that. It's great. I've only got off Canto Bright, and I've only got onto the next planet, where you're sort of finding out which I'm in the Pike community at the moment, finding out which, because it gives you like a choice of which syndicate you want to join at the moment. So I've gone for the Hut one at the moment, but you can pick the Pikes, you can pick the others, Crimson Dawn as well. Royal Formboy has just put up. He's put. I've not played it, but I've watched the entire cutscenes film of. Right. Okay. Yeah. That's. I'll deliberately not watch them because I like playing the story. You know what I mean? Because that way you get a better sense of the storyline, and the ship looks great. You know what I mean? And considering that we've only been playing the Star Wars Jedi games, I thought, well, I can't wait to play this, and I like it so far. I can't find no criticism. I do wander around a bit, thinking, where do I have to go next? You know what I mean? But once you find it, you go, oh yeah, of course. Oh yeah, sorry, there is a criticism I have got. If you die and it takes you back to a save spot, all the things you've already picked up, you have to go and pick them up again. Where some games, if you picked them up and you died, then you don't have to go and pick them up, as in like the grenades or a stem cell or a back to tank, stuff like that. They all go back there, so you have to start from scratch again. I'm not too sure where the save points are, or if you can save the game midway through. I'm not too sure about that, but it's great. It looks really good. Are you picking this one up, Chris?
No, not yet. Just I don't know. It just feels just yeah, not top of my priority.
Oh, and the other thing as well, the bike that she's driving, it's very. It looks like a Thunderbirds one. But it looks like a proper motorbike, just without the wheels on the front and a ski butt. And you actually do pass better looking speeders in the game than the one you've got, if you know what I mean. There's no many different speeders around that people are traveling on. And you can't nick them. All right. They're just driving past. But they've got better speeders than you. You can upgrade yours, but it still looks the same.
Yeah, I think I'll wait until see how all the DLC plays out for it and then look to pick up cheap. I think it's great that, other companies than Ubisoft, EA now have the license for it. But the opinions I've seen online is it needs a few months in years to get some more content, and then it should be pretty good.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my little mini quick review of the Star Wars Outlaws. It's out now on PlayStation, Xbox, all the runs of the mill. So if you get a chance, let us know if you've got it. If people online watching it and they've got it, let us know in the comments below what you think of it so far. I know some people have already completed it. I think it's about 32 hours if you're going straight from one to another. But it's not too bad for a game, I reckon. Yeah. Oh, Chris is gone.
Yeah, sorry, I was just taking off my jacket.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. So that's all I've got, Chris. Is there anything you've got left?
Yeah, I'd just like to have a moment of silence for the Acolytes in being cancelled. Yeah, that was
now
great.
moving swiftly on. So that brings us to the end of the news and the end of the show. Hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have, and me and Chris, and we're finally back. It was great to talk. I really miss talking Star Wars, even the bad bits to the good bits. It's all good in the end of the day, and I enjoy the chat. I do enjoy backwards and forwards between me and you and Chris, what you like and what I like, what you dislike, what I dislike. And also Roll Phone Boy, when he jumps in, it's good for his point of view. Good times here with Radio Free Endor Live, as always. Thank you very much, Roll Phone Boy. I really appreciate that. You are one of our most loyal listeners, which I appreciate big time. Right. So thank you for joining us on Radio Free Endor. We hope you've enjoyed immersing yourself in the galaxy far, far away with us. Stay connected with us on social media and be part of our vibrant community. Search for @Radio Free Endor on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and hit YouTube and hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications to stay up to date with our latest episodes, discussions, and exciting news. If you want to dive deeper into Star Wars with us, send your thoughts, comments, and questions to radiofreeendor@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow me at Jamie__Burns on Twitter, and Chris.
Burn Chris.
Dead simple is Burn Chris. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear from you and have a galactic big chat. For all you super fans over there, why don't you head over to TeePublic and get your hands on official Radio Free Endor merchandise, whether it's a t-shirt, hoodies, masks, stickers, mugs, key rings, or mouse mats. We've got you covered. Show off your love for the show and look at Audrey Cool doing so. In fact, I got a payment from TeePublic right out of the blue, £2. I sold 2 t-shirts. I got £2. That's how much we, as a creator on TeePublic, when people buy our designs, get £2. That's it. I don't know why it's so. It's just. I wish it was better money for people who create t-shirts. I tell you, yeah. Remember, iTunes is still the go-to place to download our show, and make sure that you leave us a fantastic 5-star review. The support means the galaxy to us and helps us reach more listeners who are hungry for more Star Wars content. Once again, thank you for tuning in to Radio Free Endor. May the Force be with you, and we look forward to bringing you more thrilling adventures from a galaxy far, far away. And on closing thoughts, Chris, anything to add to that as a closing thought?
Yeah, you're gonna enjoy a rewatch of the Acolyte.
I probably will. It probably will. I'll either be watch it again from start to finish when I get a bit of free time, or I'll probably watch a Patterson cut of the Acolyte and go, do you know what? That was really good.
Wow, a lot of people will say the second viewing is a lot better as the first because they appreciate the effort that went into it.
Probably. Roll Farboy says, hope real life doesn't keep you away again too long. I promise it will not keep us away. I will make sure I make calendar dates for us to get online. It's just editing the show for audio as well. I was thinking about sort of like stopping the audio version of this and then just going full YouTube, but I'll keep sticking it on the audio for podcasts, because even and now and again I like listening to myself. I don't know why, I just do. Anything else, Chris?
No.
Okay, that's great. So thanks again for listening to Radio Free Endor. I promise we will be back real soon to talk more about the wars, because it's all kicking off. There's going to be news. I can just feel it in my bones. There's going to be more coming out of Star Wars. And as I go through the Outlaws, I shall certainly bring out more, tell you more about the game. That's for sure. Again, thank you for being patient with us and sticking with us. And we'll make sure that we're back. We're back, baby. We're back for good.
Okay. Catch you soon. Bye.
Okay. See you later. Bye-bye.